There's a scene in Arthur Miller's play, Incident at Vichy, in which an upper-middle-class professional man appears before the Nazi authority that has occupied his town and shows his credentials, his university degrees, his letters of reference from prominent citizens, and so on. And the Nazi asks him, "Is that everything you have?" The man nods. The Nazi throws it all in the wastebasket and tells him, "Good, now you have nothing." The man, whose self-esteem had always depended on the respect of others, is emotionally destroyed. Frankl would have argued that we are never left with nothing as long as we retain the freedom to choose how we'll respond. Written on the iron gates leading into Auschwitz concentration camp are the words,
Arbeit macht frei.
It roughly translates to "work sets you free." Yes, ironic considering that most prisoners never got to see the outside world and died the most horrific deaths right inside the camp, during what can only be described as one of the lowest points in human history, the Holocaust. Viktor Frankl was an Austrian neurologist, psychiatrist, and Holocaust survivor. Between 1942 and 1945, he labored in 4 different camps, including the Auschwitz camp in Poland, the deadliest among them, where 1.1 million people were massacred. Stripped of their possessions, heads shaven, arms tattooed with serial numbers, everything about their past life seemingly faded away. Life at Auschwitz was pure misery. According to Frankl's theory known as logotherapy, our primary motive in life is not pleasure as Freud maintained, but the discovery and pursuit of our purpose in life and what we consider meaningful. During his time in the camp, Viktor noticed that men who failed to see past their imprisonment began to deteriorate physically and mentally. Losing their individuality and self-respect, they aimed towards a life without prospects or goals. In Frankl's own words, he thought of himself then as only a part of an enormous mass of people. His existence descended into the level of animal life. There is a recurring theme in the book. When we are no longer able to change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. This idea harks back to Epictetus's dichotomy of control. There are 2 kinds of things in life: things we have the ability to control and the ones that are completely outside the realm of our influence. Because whilst everything was taken from them, they could still choose how to act. Among all the atrocities in the camp, there were also glimpses of kindness. People shared their last bit of bread, which given the conditions they lived in and the work they did, the lack of food could have easily meant the difference between life and death. Here is my favorite passage from the book. We who lived in concentration camps can remember the men who walked through the huts comforting others. They may have been few in number, but they offer sufficient proof that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given circumstances, to choose one's own way. Instead of pondering the meaning of life, Frankl suggests a shift in perspective. Ultimately, man should not ask what the meaning of his life is, but rather he must recognize that it is he who is being asked. Among misery, among people who were forced to stoop into the level of animals, Frankl managed to find meaning in the suffering. He beautifully said, "Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Peace.